back with another episode of Nina Kauser Show on Anfield Index TV. I had some unfinished business with the question and answers, so if you want to know what people on Twitter ask me, just keep watching. Kicking things off is Up the Reds, and he wants to know, are Liverpool still a big club? Really good question. So many definitions of what makes a big club. If you're talking about the fan base and our global reach, I think Liverpool Football Club is still one of the biggest brands in football, still a well-loved, respected club. However, if you flip side that and look at it from a player's perspective, perhaps not so much, and I think that's largely down to the lack of trophies. I think that's what, that is the ultimate motivation for players who want to come to a club. And right now, teams like Chelsea and Man City, who really don't have history but are really, really trendy destinations because they're winning stuff. When I think of a big club that has it all, these are the teams that come to mind. It's your teams like Bayern Munich, it's Barcelona, it's Real Madrid, to some degree even Manchester United. It's been a fair few years that they've not won a league, but they still have that pull. And I think we're still kind of in that conversation ever so slightly, but if we don't start winning stuff soon, I think we might be, something in the past, a bit like, your likes of AC Milan and Inter Milan, who again were big clubs, massive history, but where are they now? Nowhere to be seen. So that's just my take on what makes a big club. Liverpool need to start winning things, start winning trophies to be a big club on all fronts. I hope that answered that Up the Reds. Next question is from Joey Connors, and he wants to know, why do we never have a plan B when it comes to transfers and negotiations? Joey, I couldn't agree more. When I think of all the players that we've been linked to in the past, and we've been in advanced talks, only to see them end up at Spurs, Chelsea, and quite recently Borussia Dortmund are the new team that takes all our players away from us. It almost seems like we don't want to offer them what they want, be it the transfer, the wages. It's like we seem to lowball, these quality players. We think we can get them at a cheaper price. And if you want to take that strategy, and if you really want to haggle, then please send in an Asian woman. Like, nobody haggles as well as an Asian woman. Trust me, I know. So yeah, that's what I would do. But that was all in the past with obviously the previous regime with Ian Air. Right now we're going to go with Peter Moore. I hope things change, and I hope, we're a bit more savvy, a bit more astute, and a bit more, we need to, remember the competition and who we're up against, and we've got up our game in that front, shall we say, certainly when it comes to transfers, because I feel like we look quite amateurish to, other teams. So I hope that changes big time. Okay, the next question is from Shrikant Bala, and he wants to know, in my opinion, was this the best transfer window or bit of business? And I think he's trolling me here, guys, but I don't know what you guys think. He's talking about that year when Juventus sold Zidane and replaced him with Buffon, etc., etc. That's what he wrote, etc., etc. Like, that is so disrespectful, Shri. So disrespectful to Buffon, to Nedved, and so disrespectful to Lilian Thuram. And yes, for me, in my humble opinion, that was probably the best bit of business I ever saw. You sell the best player on the planet who wanted to go for some time. You get the big transfer fee for him, the record, I believe, and you replace him with a like-for-like almost in a Pavel Nedved, such an unsung hero, massively underrated footballer, fitted the Juventus system so well. And then you get one of the best defenders in the world in Lilian Thuram, and of course Gigi Buffon, the greatest of all time. That was your sort of spine, if you will. Those were your solid players for the best part of 7 years. And what's truly fascinating about that is one of those components is still playing ball. And I think now's the time to give Gigi Buffon a huge congratulations for his 1,000th competitive game. That is fucking exceptional, so fair play to Juventus. But guys, if you have a different suggestion or you think there was a better window, feel free to comment down below or tweet us. Love to hear your thoughts on that one. Next question is from Chitan, and he wants to know, which footballer would I like to interview and why? I'm not going to be generic with this and say like your Messis and your Ronaldos and your Suarez. It's boring. It's been done to death. If I was to interview anyone, it'd be Valbuena, not because anything in particular, but I think it'd be quite nice for me to be in a room with a grown adult and me being the tallest one there. I think that'd be quite cool because I do suffer from little man syndrome, so that'd be pretty cool. Another one would be, I can't believe I'm saying this, but maybe Victor Moses. Yeah, definitely Victor Moses. And I would love to ask him, how do you go from being so terrible at something to being pretty good? And I'm obviously talking about his football. Changed his career around. I think that's largely down to Antonio Conte, but I'd love to still sit down with him and ask him to teach me how do you change it. So yeah, those are my two quirky shouts there in terms of footballers I'd like to interview. Sticking on the Chelsea theme, Russell Claydon wants to know which Chelsea footballer's head would I use as a football. So highbrow on this show, I love it. I absolutely love it, and it's right up my street. I think the obvious choice would be Diego Costa. I think every Liverpool fan would use his head as a football, and I'd wear the most ridiculous high heels you could possibly imagine and really cause him some damage. I think he's such a dirty player, but it's one of them, if he played for you, you'd absolutely love him. So I get why Chelsea fans adore him. Another shout for me would probably be John Terry, because Chelsea captain and it's John Terry, isn't it? So yeah, I mean ex-captain, shall we say, because I don't think he plays an awful much anymore. Hefty Horse wants to know, does James Milner play left back next season? I certainly fucking hope not. It started off so well, but as we became inconsistent, I think he's been found out. It's a massive deficiency in the squad. That's not a slight on James Milner. I think he gives it his all. I think it's just largely down to the fact that he's not a left back, and I think you need a specialised player in that position, and next season that is something that we really need to strengthen in. And we definitely need to replace James Milner in that role. I think it'd be unfair on James Milner to play that role again next season, because I think it'd almost be suicide. So yeah, a left back is a must, and I hope it's high on Jurgen Klopp's agenda list when it comes to transfers. Okay, I've got two questions that are kind of asking a similar thing. The first one is from Johnny Doyle, and he wants to know, if Liverpool miss out on top four this season and we only sign one player, is it make or break for Jurgen Klopp? And James Cowell is asking, if we don't spend big on proven players in the summer, will we be asking the same questions yet again next season? The same questions. I'm going to answer the two together because I think they kind of relate. I think I've been saying this for some time. I think this is make or break for FSG in terms of the transfer window. I think, they really do need to compete with the big boys, around the league. They've got to aid Jurgen Klopp, give him whatever he wants. I think we do need to spend big regardless, and that's not necessarily on, the proven talent, because that's not necessarily going to come to us. Because if you kind of look at where those players want to go, we're not high on the list because of a previous question that I answered. We're not winning things. It's going to be all more difficult if we don't get top four football, but I'm not going to go there because we are going to get Champions League football. I'm going to stay positive. I don't think it's make or break for Jurgen Klopp at all. I think he's got 4 seasons. At the very least, I think he's got a 6-year contract. He's got some time there. I think he'll want to get this transfer window right. If you look at his previous transfer window, the summer one, which is the only one that he likes to spend in, I think he had a successful one with the players coming in, players coming out. He probably could have bought a few more players. I think the strength and depth in the squad is a huge problem. We don't have a like-for-like replacements, and I think that's what we need to be looking at and targeting, with obviously looking at defenders and a left back and all those things, and a striker as well. So that's my take on whether it's make or break. I don't think it will be make or break. I still think he's we're in a bit of a transition period. I know as Liverpool fans hate that word, but I think it truly is. When you have a new manager, he's going to put his philosophy and his players, and these things take time. And with a manager like Jurgen Klopp, you afford him that time. Hope that answers that. Next question is from Justin Wells, and he wants to know, if Coutinho leaves in the summer, do we replace him for a like-for-like, or do we look for different attributes? I think, Justin, I speak for you on this one, because we're friends. We don't want Coutinho to go. I don't want him to go. I also, we love Coutinho, but let's face it, he has been inconsistent, and I don't think he's warranted a move to Barcelona you know, for those reasons, I still don't think he's the finished article. I think he's got a few more seasons, maybe 2 more seasons. He might go off to Barcelona if he can sort of fix his consistency issues. I'm hoping he stays, but let's just assume he goes and we get a big transfer fee for him. I think it depends on the system. If we play a 4-3-3, which I truly think that we will, I think then we kind of get like your Mane-esque kind of player on the other side, and you use Firmino as a focal point. I think it's going to be really hard to replace Coutinho in terms of like for like, because he plays so many different positions. Such an intelligent footballer, such a talented footballer. It's going to be quite hard to replace all those attributes where, you know, we love him as a number 8, where many people just see him as this attacking, creative player, but there's so much to him. So that's my take. It just depends on the formation that Jurgen Klopp wants to play. However, I hope he doesn't go anywhere and we're not having that conversation in summer. Okay, people on Anfield Index, great minds think alike, eh? I've got a question here from Guy Drinkle and Andrew McGough, and they're asking something very similar, so I'll answer it together. And what they both are basically asking is, if Jordan Henderson is fit for the Merseyside derby, who does he walk straight in? And if he does, who walks to the bench? It's a good talking point, because obviously what you need to remember is Jordan Henderson has played so well under Jurgen Klopp. At the beginning of the season he was so good. He's also captain, so you kind of assume that he just naturally walks in because that's the captain's right. That's what you'd assume. However, if you look at players like Gini Wijnaldum and Emre Can in the last few games, I think they've connected so well, they've gelled really well, created a great partnership. I think they really complement each other. I think it would be massively unfair to drop either or. Then you maybe look at Adam Lallana, who's been quite inconsistent, shall we say, you know, not been his old self, certainly at the beginning of the season. You drop Lallana, you think, yep, I'll play Emre Can, Henderson and Gini. The only problem I have with that is that was the midfield against Swansea, and it was such a dull midfield. There was no creativity, no spark, just the constant recycling of the ball, nothing, no connection with the attackers. So I think that will hinder us straight away. I won't go with that at all. Just my take. I think what I would do is with Jordan Henderson, bring him on slowly, include him slowly. I think with the Merseyside derby, you need a snide bastard, and I think there's nobody better right now in our squad than Emre Can to do that. I think if Emre Can gets a little tired of Gini Wijnaldum, I think you bring Henderson on for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, include him in slowly, because he did have quite a serious injury. That's how I would handle it, and I think that's how probably Jurgen Klopp should handle it as well, but who knows, we'll have to wait and see. Last question, a bit of fun from Guy Drinkle, probably the toughest question I had, and he wants to know, what would I rather have? Emre Can's hair or Gini Wijnaldum's smile? He did a poll on this, and apparently Gini Wijnaldum's smile won. Thinking long and hard about this, Emre's got amazing hair, like the best, you know, the best hair you could possibly imagine, but I would look absolutely ridiculous with his hair. Could you imagine me with his hair? Oh my god, no, no, no. Suits a guy, not a girl. Gini's smile is it's gorgeous, it's perfect, and it's just effortless. And if I had his smile, I'd probably pout less in my pictures and maybe be a little bit more happier as a person. So for me, I agree with your followers. Gini's smile wins hands down. Such a highbrow show here. That is the end of the Nina Kauser show. Before you go, please like and subscribe Anfield to the channel. Help Yarrow out as well. He's doing a fantastic job with his Yarrow show. He makes me look like a shrinking violet with all the F-bombs. I love it. Do watch his videos. And whilst you're here, don't forget to download the app. It's completely free. Until next time, I will catch you in my next video. Bye.